Hello, my name is Sally and I am one of the makeup artists working with Look Fabulous Forever, which is skincare, hair care and makeup designed specifically for older women. Today I want to talk to you about something that is a really common problem, and that is makeup migrating to create panda-like eyes. And if this is a problem that you have when you wear eye makeup, then I hope that some of the tips and tricks that I give you on this video are going to help you with this problem, because it's so annoying to put your makeup on in the morning and then be really worried throughout the day that you have got darkness where maybe your mascara has run or your eyeliner has run or little flecks of eyeshadow have moved. That is not a nice feeling. So hopefully today's tips will help you with that. So what have I done so far? I've actually done all my makeup apart from I haven't put any concealer around my eyes and I haven't done my eye makeup today. But I have put on I've moisturized my face this morning and I've waited, and I have put on my Smooth Light Silk face prime, and I have used my Light Look Beauty Balm in shade 0.5. And I've used some blusher, peach cream blusher, and I've already done my lips using Roseberry Lip Liner and True Coral and Cinnamon Kiss. So that's what I've done. So let's get going and I'll give you hopefully some top tips to help you with this extremely common and annoying problem. So one of the main reasons that you might end up with makeup moving is basically having oily eyes, and that can be just something that you have naturally, oily eyes, or you have left on a bit of residue of either eye cream, moisturizer, or you might have cleaned your eyes using our beautiful Clean Sweep eye makeup remover, which does have some oiliness in it as well. So particularly if you've used the eye cream the night before, what I would say when you do your eye makeup in the morning, really, really ensure that this whole eye area is completely oil-free and dry. And it might just mean taking a cotton pad that's slightly damp and just wiping over, or just getting tissue and just blotting the area really well before you start your eye makeup application. That can make an enormous difference. The next thing that I would say, which can make a huge difference, is to use a product called Smooth Out Eye Prime, this product. So this is specifically for eyes. Look Fabulous Forever have 3 primers. They have a face primer, an eye primer, and the Never Feather Lip Prime, which I also use before putting my lipstick on today. But this one is brilliant because it does a couple of things. First of all, it will smooth out any crepiness. It will create a little bit of a barrier before you put on your eyeshadow, your eyeliner, your mascara, which will basically sort of soak up the oils as well, and therefore stop that transference of oiliness to your face, which can mean that things then migrate. And it will also cover up very fine lines that we tend to get. The eyes become a lot thinner as we get older, so you might find that you've got little sort of veins on your eyes and discoloration that you didn't have when you were younger. So a little bit of this product is brilliant if you suffer from panda eyes. So you don't need very much. That's the important thing. Don't overload your eyes with anything. I'm going to put a little bit of this on, and then I'm actually going to put a little bit of concealer on because I didn't do this area. So let's do the eye prime first. So tiny amount. I tend to put it on because if you put it on with your fingers alone, make sure that your fingers are dry, clean and oil free. Anything that you do around your face, you need clean hands. Ideally, this is my concealer brush number 4, and if you can keep one specifically for your eye primer, if you've got a couple of these, that's great, or keep it reasonably clean because you don't want it to be oily. So tiny amount, and just put it all over your eyelids. So if you find that your eye makeup migrates, you might want to put your concealer on when you do your foundation, but not do the concealer until you've finished your eye makeup, which will then just clean everything up, So, or you can do a little bit before and a little bit afterwards. What I then do, I still take my clean fingers and just really blend that in well. Now, if you find that you have eyeliner that moves, making sure that you get this right to the base of the lashes is important. So you can either use the concealer brush, or if you find that's too big, use our wedge brush number 8 to do that, and just to really make sure that you've got that little bit of primer next to the base of the eyelashes. If you want to, what you can do as well is to take a tiny little bit of the eye primer and use it under the base of the lashes as well, just like that, either with a big brush, or what I find sometimes easier is to use a cotton bud or my wedge brush number 8, or even the lip brush number 5, a smaller brush, just to put a tiny amount of eye prime where I'm going to be putting my eyeliner. Important before you put your eyeshadow on, just to let that eye primer dry just a little bit. Don't go straight in, just give it doesn't take long, it really doesn't take long, but don't go straight in eye primer eyeshadow. Just let that dry just for a couple of minutes. If you're putting on an eyeshadow that's reasonably dark, you might find that some of the little bits of eyeshadow move onto your face. Hopefully they won't with the Look Fabulous Forever products, because they're not very loose in terms of their texture. It's quite a sort of firm, dense eyeshadow that doesn't go very glittery or drop. It doesn't drop. But if you do, what you can do, there's two things you can do. You can either hold up a bit of a barrier when you're putting your eyeshadow on by just using either a cotton pad like this, or you might like to hold a tissue up like so. Or what you can do is to take a little bit of powder, translucent powder, and just pop a little bit of powder here and here using your big powder brush. And then if you get any spillage, it will go onto the powder, and at the end you can just dust that away with your big powder brush number 1. Right, so let's get going. I'm going to actually just do my eyes and talk through a few things. If you find that your eyes water a lot, be very gentle when you're actually applying your eyeshadow, because the heavier you apply it, the more you're likely to water, and therefore things are going to move. So I am going to use a really lovely colour called Rose Gold all over, and I'm going to put it on using my brush number 7. So I'm putting it on in a fairly light way. I'm not pressing too hard. If you do find that you are a lady that suffers from panda eyes, you might not want to go too dark with your eye makeup. Keep it all quite light and fresh, and then you might find that if there's any movement, then it won't look too dark around the eyes. That's another thing you can do. Just keep it all reasonably light, reasonably neutral around the eyes, and detract away with beautiful lipstick. These are really gentle shades, so you can build them up if you want to, or just keep them very light and very natural. They're not scary colours, and there's a massive range of colours to choose from in the Look Fabulous Forever eyeshadow range. So this one is a very neutral colour, rose gold. It suits you if you're warm or if you are cool. So I'm going to use another colour. I'm going to use a beautiful colour called Deep Dark Taupe, this one. So it's in the same family as taupe, it's just a little bit darker. And I'm going to use a smaller brush. I'm going to use my brush number 9 to put this on, which is a really nice, it's still soft, but it's a little bit sort of smaller, and therefore you can control where you put a slightly more precise shape. So I'm taking some of the product up on my brush, and then I'm just going to tap out so that there's no excess on the brush. Use this as a little bit of a template, just to create a slightly darker socket line, like so, and then just bring it down. So again, if your eyes tend to water, don't press too hard, just sort of do it quite gently, dabbing it on really, rather than really pressing hard, which might cause the eyes to water, which we don't want to do. So I'm trying not to touch my eyes with my fingers too much because, again, I'm trying to avoid any transference of any oil onto my eye, any extra oil. You don't want that. And then I'm going to go back in with my first brush and blend. I tend to blend out to in quite firmly, but not too firm. You can do it in a bit like a windscreen wiper effect, or you can do it in a slightly swirly motion as well. But you just don't want to change the shape that you've just nicely created, but you just want to blend it well so that one colour seamlessly goes into another. It makes all the difference if you can really blend your eyeshadows in. If they're blended in, you're less likely as well to move and migrate down your face. So really worth spending a bit of extra time blending well. Now, eyeliner. Good question. Should you use eyeliner if you get panda eyes? It might be something that you just want to omit. It might be something that you want to just use an eyeshadow for. However, if you want to use a pencil, I would suggest one of the Look Fabulous Forever ones. They're very, very soft. So you might think, soft, does that mean they're going to move? They shouldn't move if you put them on in the right way and you set them. So I'm going to use my dark brown soft eyeliner on the top. If you find that you've got very oily eyes underneath, don't do it underneath. And I tend to use a lighter colour underneath very often so that it's not so dark if it does move, but hopefully they won't. So what I'm going to do with this is just go to the last eyelash and I'm going to do small, quite feathery strokes. Take your time on this because this is the time when you can find that your eyes water a little bit if you're not used to wearing eyeliner. It's obviously you're coming very close to your eye. So just if you're able to keep your eye closed like I did, I can do it on one side but not on the other. That helps. If you can't, then I suggest you actually pinch your eye to your nose like this to create a nice smooth, this is stopping me opening this eye, nice smooth effect. And I like to make it a little bit wider on the outside, tapering it into the middle. If you find that you get panda eyes, I would suggest you don't necessarily bring eyeliner all the way into this area because you'll find it will possibly move and go a bit bitty, and it then does look, it's easy to then smudge it around the eyes as well. So just do it on the maybe outer half of the top only, or maybe you could put a little bit on the bottom as well if you want to. So this eye, I am not able to keep open. I have to literally hold it shut like this. So last eyelash, slightly lifting. Because it's so soft, I don't have to press very hard. I'm actually going to put on the bottom a slightly lighter one, which I often do. This one is called Warm Taupe. So it's slightly lighter in colour. And again, because I have put that little bit of eye primer, hopefully that will just give it a little bit of a base to go onto rather than going onto. It's important to have something there, whether it be a tiny bit of concealer or a little bit of eye primer, just to make sure that there is something for it to adhere to. You find that it won't move as much, or hopefully at all. And bring the bottom up a little bit to meet the top. If you have used a pencil eyeliner, the lovely soft defining eyeliners, I would still recommend to stop them from moving, setting the eyeliner. And this is where I will definitely recommend using my lovely brush, the wedge brush number 8. Now you can either go over it with the eyeshadow, so I would probably go over the look I've got today with my dark taupe, or you can just go over it with the translucent powder, this one. So I might go over the top just to show you both with the dark taupe. So you take some up onto your wedge brush. Really important just to take off the excess from the sides. So you've just got it really on that edge, the end, and then just go over little, basically pressing the eyeshadow into where you have placed the eyeliner. If you find eyeliner doesn't work for you, this is a really, really good tip. Just do this without using eyeliner. Go straight in and use the eyeshadow as your eyeliner. But I like to do both. So pointy bit upwards on that outer edge. Just lifting it very slightly. So underneath, again, I could have gone with the dark taupe, or I can just take a little bit of powder. This is really good, just a little bit of powder just to set the eyeliner. You can also do, if you really struggle, real top tip, is to go in again with a tiny, tiny little bit of your eye prime before putting on the powder. Not over. If you're doing that, you put it just on that, just underneath where you've put the eyeliner. So that's real belt and braces. I never usually do that, but I know that it has worked for a lot of people. So again, worth trying if your eyeliner moves. But otherwise, just a little bit of shadow or a little bit of translucent powder. So what I'm going to do now is to put on some mascara. Mascara is something, again, that can move. If you find that you've got, it's really important, as I said earlier, to make sure that your eyes are dry and oil-free. You might even find, if your lashes are a little bit oily, another tip is to get this is a disposable mascara wand, and take a little bit of powder. Some ladies do this to sort of volumize their eyelashes, but you can also do it just to take off any little bits of oiliness on your eyelashes before you put mascara on. I would recommend using a waterproof mascara if you find that mascara migrates. And Look Fabulous Forever do beautiful Lithe Lash mascara in either black or in brown, waterproof. So I'm going to put my mascara on. What I'd recommend is taking the mascara wand out and then just wiping it so it's not too full, too clogged, too heavy. And really take your time over this. It might be that you just want to do just the very tips. If you find you get panda eyes, I probably wouldn't do the tops. I would just go from underneath. And I'm sort of blinking on. The beauty of this mascara is that it keeps your lashes looking very natural. It doesn't make them go very spiky. They end up still really pliable, which I think is really important for an older eye. You don't want your mascara to look really obvious and spiky. And you can build up as much as you want. So I'm just going to put a little bit more on for the other side. Now, if you do get you've got very oily eyes and you find you do get a lot of migration, then you might not want to put mascara onto your bottom lashes. If you do want to put mascara on your bottom lashes, I would just put a small amount on. I wouldn't go in and do several coats. One coat will be fine. And just on the tips or the outer edges. I would probably try and stick to the waterproof one if you want to avoid any pandering. Is that a verb, to pander? To pander under eyes? I don't think so. I'm going to clean up right at the end, but I do at this stage sometimes find it's good just to get a cotton bud. Just make sure there's no little blobs of mascara that are going to sort of dry. So I like to do that now. Have a really good magnifying mirror when you're doing eye makeup. It makes such a difference because otherwise you can't see those little blobs. You just can't. What I'm going to do now is I want to use a little bit of highlighter and I want to use some bring back brow to just add a little bit of definition to my eyes. So let's get my Instant Bright highlight. That's this lovely product. And it's a little clicky pen. I'm just going to put a little bit of this product underneath my brow. And then I'm using a concealer brush and just going to blend that in. Just creates a little bit of light underneath the brow. Brows, again, you don't want brows to move, and that's why Look Fabulous Forever have brought out a fantastic product called Bring Back Brow Shape, and it's a waterproof eyebrow paint that comes, you shake it and it's got a little ball bearing in it. So the first thing I'm going to do is just to brush. You can brush up, brush down, just to create the actual line and neaten your brows before you fill them in. So I'm going to take some out, and you can see it's actually a little fine paintbrush. It is a liquid, so don't let it tip because it will fall everywhere. So keep it upright. And this product is great because it really won't move once it's dried. It is waterproof. You just need to remove it with an eye makeup remover. So little feathery strokes just to fill in any missing brow hair. Even if you have if you've got absolutely no brows, I would do this before putting my eyeshadow on to create a frame. I tend to start in the middle, work my way out and taper it, and then I come back and put a little bit upward near the nose. And then the secret to this product is, again, to go back with your spoolie brush. This is our brush number 6, and just soften it. And once it's dry, you really do not need to worry about this product moving. Whereas if you use just a pencil and you rub your eyes, you'll find that it will move and will add to the panda eye effect. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to just go in with a little bit of concealer, and I'm going to use our lovely concealer in shade 02, and I'm going to just put a little bit into this part of my eye, which is the bit that's very bluey, and just tap it. And then I'm going to put a little bit just where there's darkness, which is just this sort of area. Now, you don't want very much concealer, just a small amount, but enough to cover the darkness. And then I'm just tapping it in with my hands. You can use it just to clean up as well if there's been any sort of movement, hopefully not. What I'm going to do now is to take a little bit to use, this is a clean brush number 7, and I'm going to take a little bit more of my translucent powder, this one, and put it just near the concealer, just to add a little bit of light and just to set that whole area. Not putting loads on, but just enough, just to hold everything in place. What I now need to do is just dust away this little bit of powder that I put on as a protection to stop everything moving. That's the finished look. I just want to mention a few more things. So if you still find after doing all of that your makeup moves as the day goes on, there's a couple of things you can do. One is you can invest in some little bits of blotting. You can buy these online. It's actually blotting paper. So if you're finding you get a little bit oily throughout the day, literally take a little bit of blotting paper and blot, like so, just to get rid of any little oils that you might have. The other thing you can do is when you finish your whole makeup, what I like to do is put a dust of more powder everywhere just to set everything. But you can invest in a setting spray, and there are lots on the market. I quite like Urban Decay All Nighter, Model in a Bottle, or Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray. There's quite a few on the market. And if you're going to use a setting spray, do it right at the end and shake it, hold it about 20 centimeters away from the face. Keep your eyes shut and spray in a cross and like so in an X. And just basically let that dry before opening your eyes. You might find that helps as well. So if you find say you're at a wedding and you cry, you know you're going to cry, it's worth having near to you some cotton buds, because if you can feel tears coming, rather than letting the tears run and you rubbing your eyes, just doing this and catching the tear. I know it's a little bit weird, but you never know, you might have one handy. Catching the tears and actually mopping up tears before they run down your face can also stop with panda eyes. Dabbing with tissues rather than rubbing. And obviously, this goes without saying, the more you rub at your eyes and touch your face with your hands, the more likelihood you're going to move your makeup and end up with panda eyes. So if you can really avoid touching your face, that can also really make a difference. So I hope that that has helped and given you a few tips, really making sure that there is no oil, no residue moisturizer and no residue eye makeup remover on your eyes before you start your makeup. Using primers, using translucent powder, concealer, the eye prime, blending but not pressing too hard, and then some of the tips that I've shown you with eyeliner, just to make sure that you set your eyeliner. And if you're really struggling, don't use eyeliner at the bottom and don't use mascara at the bottom. But if you are going to use mascara, try the waterproof mascara. So hopefully panda-free eye days for you so that you can put on your makeup and not worry about it moving. But keep some little cotton buds with you, maybe some little bits of blotting tissue as well throughout the day, and just every now and again just have a quick glance in the mirror to make sure hopefully your eyes are panda free and streak free from makeup. So thank you so much for watching the video today. If you have got any ideas and any comments, or if you've got any top tips about how to stop your makeup from moving, particularly your eye makeup, we would absolutely love to hear from you in the comment box below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again very soon. Bye bye.